Now we can jump into the code. We have a slight overview of how we are going to create this. So this is the class I've already created. So first of all, we have a array, static int array. So that's what I'll be creating. So static int a, this will be the array int a, and then for now let's create the menu. So public static void main, menu will be created inside the main class, string args, and here we have a main class. Now let's first put a loop here. So I'm going for a while loop, and I created a boolean for that while loop. So due to this, unless the run is not false, this while loop will continuously execute. So now I can print my menu. So it will have a line above, then we have a to create array, and let's put b for b is for display. So display array, then let's put another line, and then we can put c, which is insert into array. Then we can put d, delete from array, and then finally we'll have e for exit. So this is the menu for us. Now we have to take input, so let's create a scanner. So import java.util.scanner. So we have a scanner imported. Now let's create a scanner object. So scanner sc is equals to new scanner, and then we have system.in. So here we have a scanner object. Now as we are taking a character input, so I'll create a character c is equals to sc dot next line dot character at 0. So I think this will do for the input for the character. Now let's call the methods one by one, which is also according to the character taken, which is according to the choice of the user. So switch, I'm using switch case, and then we have case 1, which is a, obviously. So in a, what we can do is so a is creating an array and implement and inserting that array. So what I can do is I can create a temporary array, I can insert into that temporary array, and then I can send that array to assign values to the static int a. So my static global array will be filled after I have filled my temp array. So first I will be taking the size of the arrays, because that's the fundamental thing here. So enter the size of array. So this will be asking me the size. So int n will be the size of array, next int, and then we will be taking we will create a temp array first. So temp is equals to new int of n. Now we can take the input inside the array also. So I'm using for loop for that. For int I equals 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. Now temp of I is equals to sc dot next int. Yes, so we have a next int ready. This is how we can fill the array. So let's just remove the enter buffer once here, as we have taken the integer input. So we will have a leftover of an enter buffer. So I've removed that. Now I can call a simply, and I can pass temp and n. So now let's create a method. So it will be static, it will not be returning anything. will be A, which is taking an integer array. Well, we do not need this n because we have temp there, so it will work. Now we have A is equals to new int b dot length. Okay, so we have instantiated the array. Now we have given the value of A, how long A is. Now we can assign A equals to B. So we have created and inserted all the values inside the array. So we have created the array and we have inserted the values. So A part is done. We can just print put break here, and now let's move on to case B. So case B, we are displaying the array, so we do not need any input for this. We just call a method called B, and now let's create it. So static void B. What will do, it will simply what first let's print array elements, and now for using a for loop, I equals 0, I is less than a dot length, and then I plus plus. Then we can put print statement here with position. So I is the position, then we can put index here and then a colon and then plus a of I. So I think this will do me the printing part. Yes, it will do me the printing part. So let's go down and put a break here again. So we have a break. Now let's create the case C here. So case C says it's for inserting. So for inserting we take two things. We take element and then we take the position of that element where we have to insert. So first let's take the element which we have to enter. So enter element. So what is the entering, what is enter the insert element, and let's take it in E equals to sc dot next int, and then let's take enter insert position. So insert position we are taking, it should be okay, let's remove this. Let's put a from 0 to plus, and okay, so n is not global, so a dot length will work, a dot length, and then we can put a plus and a colon here. So I'll just put enter here because that was not visible. Now it's completely visible. So now I'll take the position. So equals to sc dot next int, and this should be -1. So because the array indexing starts from 0 to array length dot -1, so that's what I have done here. Now I've taken the input for position also. I have element and the position. Now I just have to replace it. It's not replacing it, inserting, so I have to increase the values also. So what we can do here is we can call C from here. It will take E comma P, and now we can create C. So static void C, and C is taking E and P. So now let's say if we are inserting at the last element, we do not need to increase, we do not need to replace any other indexes, any other elements. We just have to replace the last element. So if P is double equals to a dot length -1, what we can do is a of P is equals to E, right? Else we will do some work. So the work will be first we have to increase, and then we can fix the value inside the array. So first we will increase all the indexes of the elements. What we can do is we can use a for loop. Int I equals 0, I should not be equal, I equals to p, I is less than a dot length minus 1 I plus plus, I think so. Okay, so let me take an example first. So let's say I have an array of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, right? And now I want to insert let's say 6 at position 2, right? So what the position 2 here is, let's see the position 2. So position 2 will be this one, right? So this one will be position 2 because this is 0 1 2 3 4, so this is the positions. So what I'm expecting here is should be 1 2 6 3 4. So this is what I'm expecting. So what I can do here is I can just simply change the value of 3 to 4. So this 3 will be printed at here and this 4 will be printed at here. But if I do it in this manner, if I change the value of 4 with 3 first, so what will happen that both the value will be 3, and if I change again this 5 value, it will be 3. So all of these will become 3. Rather than this, what I can do is I can start from the last. So I'll be starting from the 5, and I will take at this index. What I can do is I can change the value of 5 from 4, and then again at this index the value is still 4, but I am changing it to 3. So we will have 3 and 4 like this at the last indexes. So what I do is I go to the last index and I take the value of the first index, means index before, and then again I go to the next index, last second index, and then I change it with the index ahead. So this is what we are doing, and I will do it until I reach the pause position. So this will give me 1 2 3 3 4. If I do this, the output will be 1 2 3 3 4. And then what I can simply do is I can simply change the position. I can simply do is a of p is equals to e. So at a of 2 the value 6 will be printed, so that will simply give me this. So this is what we are going to do. This is the okay. So yes, so this should start from the last. So a dot length minus 1, this should be greater than equals to pause, and this should be going to minus minus. Okay, position is not, it is only p. Yes, so we have this. Now we are going backwards. So I am at the last position. I change the value of last position. So a of I is equals to a of I minus 1. So it's changing with the backwards until unless, okay, so this shouldn't be p, it should be less than p. Yes, and then what we do is we simply change the value of the current the position which we have to change. So I think this will do for insert. Now just put break here and start with case D. So in case D we will take only the position. So enter delete position. So I'm asking the delete position. I can just put int p is equals to sc dot next int. I have this. Now what I can do is I can call D and I can delete p. Okay, so p I cannot use again, so I'll use pause here and pause here. Now let's create the method. So static void D int p. Let's say if p is equals to a dot length minus 1, we can just simply put a of p equals 0. So if the deleting index is last, we simply put 0 there. Else, let's see what in else have. So let's take an example again. So this was for insert. Now we have a example for delete. So in delete, let's say I have 2 4 6 8, and now I want to delete from here, let's say 4. Sorry, I want to delete 4. So how do I delete 4? So deleting 4, what I can do is I can replace this value of 4 with this value of 6. So I will give it this value, then this value of 8, this value of, then I can go to 6 and I can assign the 6 the value of 8, and then in the end I can put this as 0. So the last index can be put as 0. So as I do delete, I have to put the last index as 0, and I'll be giving the before. So if you take a closer look, we can go inside delete in this way also. So insert was not allowing us, because if we were going in this way and changing the values, this 3 will become 3 and all of them will become 3. But in delete, what we can do is we can go in this way and we can take 4 and change the value of 4 with 6, and then we can go at 6 and change the value of 6 with 8, and then finally we can change the value of 8 with 0, and that's what we are going to do. So in else, let's go for loop for int I equals to p is less than a dot length minus 1 I plus plus. We have this, then the current value is changed with the next value, and simply a of a dot length minus 1 is equals to 0. So I think this should work for delete also. Current value is changed with the next value, so next value comes, and then next for the next index, the next value. Yes, I think this should work. I'll just put a break here. Okay, so we have a break, and then we have a case e, and in case e we can just put n equals to false. There's not much to do in this, and one thing remaining here is underline a line here also. So yeah, this should look good. I think this will do me the thing. Now let's see if this works. So okay, so one thing I can see is it's not prompting me for asking me for an input. So let's put here enter your choice and then a space and a colon. Now run this again. Yeah, now it looks better. Let's create an array first. Okay, so another problem, which is I'm using print linear instead I should use print only a. Okay, so now I'm creating, let's put the size as 5. Let's enter the elements. So 2 4 6 8 10. Actually it should prompt that also, that enter the elements. So I'll just write it here. So enter elements of array, and first put a colon here and then let it be just print. So I'll run this again. Let's put a 5 2 4 6 8 and 10. So these are my elements. Let's see if display works or not. So I put b. Okay, so the display works, just this index and I should have a gap, so that we can just give here. No need to check because it's just a space problem, not a big problem. Let's insert now. So for inserting, let's say I'm inserting 5. 5 should come between 4 and 6, so simply its position should be 2. And okay, so it's giving me an array index out of bound exception, character at 0. Okay, so this is the issue of next line. Sc dot next line should be given at input part. So this here I have forgotten to take the enter buffer. So this problem, how do I know it's an enter buffer? By looking the line number. So it says the line number 50 gives me this error, and it is a string character at error, and I know where I have used character at. So at line number 50 I've used this character at, and this index array out of bound comes when we have an enter buffer. So I took care of it. I have given a sc dot next line. I should give an sc dot next line here also, because I'm taking an integer input. So integer input, what it does, it takes the integer, the number part, and then it leaves the enter which you have just given it. So let's run this again and check. Let's first create an array. So it will be a size of 5. Let's put 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9, and now let's print it. So at 0 index we have 1 and so on, so it's working. Now let's insert. Let's say I want to insert 6, so 6 will come after 5, so that index. Okay, so one thing I can see here is this. So that's that small thing, that's only the printing part, so not a big issue. Can give it on runtime and see it in the next time I run this. So the index, the 6 will come after 5, so the index is 3, so I put 3. So there's no error. Let's print it. Okay, so as you can see I have 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. So first I had 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and as I insert 6 at the index 3, the 7 goes at the index 4 and the 9 goes out of index. So instead of showing an error, I just removed the 9 from there. So the 9 has no significance for us for now. Now let's delete. Now let's say I've messed up with my sequence. I had a sequence of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, which was odd numbers, and now I've given 6, so I want to delete it. So let's delete it. Position of it is 3. So it has not given me an error. Let's see what happened. Okay, so it has been deleted. So as you can see, I again have 1, 3, 5, 7. Now let's do some random inputs. So just to check, you should always check your code twice, thrice, as much as you can, and with random inputs. So now let's say I insert again 9 at the 4th position and display it. So I have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now let's delete the index 0. Let's see what happens. So if I delete at index 0, and now if I again print it, okay, so as you can see I have the 1 has been removed, which was at position 0, and all the other indexes has been all the other elements have came 1 index back. So I think this is what we had. Now if I press E, okay, I came out safe and clear. There are no errors. I think this is it. This was the whole question, and we have covered the question properly in my opinion. And if anything is remaining, you can tell me. You have my Gmail address inside this description, and also the link to our Telegram group, so you can check that out, and you can contact me there. See you in the next video.